Hey friends, I just wanted to show you my garden today. This is my first video that I will be sharing, and I just want to warn you that I am a total amateur at gardening. However, I had several people ask to see what I was doing with my raised beds, and so I wanted to share that with you. So let's go. So here is my overall size of my garden. Oops, sorry. And you can see that I think I might have a total space of like 16 by 20. And might actually be a little less than that. And so just so that you can see, I've got a lot going on, including having a lazy fat cat, Mrs. Darcy. But this raised bed right here was what we had last year, and we got an overabundance of produce from that. And I had a very small area right here that I had just hodgepodged together for some peppers and okra last year. So let me take you through a mini garden tour. And here I have planted some cabbage, and so obviously I think this one is going to win out. I've never raised cabbage before, nor have I ever raised cabbage in a bucket. So if you all have any suggestions or advice, let me know for sure. Same with my potatoes, and I put one potato with lots of eyes in here and planted it probably about 2 weeks ago, and you can see they are going crazy already. Really not sure what else I need to do. I know that I did put some soil on top yesterday because they had grown so much, but not really sure what else to do. So if you have planted potatoes in a bucket before or container, let me know any tips that you could pass on to me. Now here is my cilantro, which is looking a little iffy, but I did plant some more seeds today. And then my zinnias that I also went ahead and transplanted some into the garden. And then here's some mint, some more mint over there, and then some alyssum that I'm going to try to plant over in our flower bed. But stepping down here, I have some nasturtiums. Katie, hey. Sorry about that. I have some nasturtiums that are actually looking beautiful, and I cannot wait for them to bloom. These are probably some of the best ones, and I have them in the worst soil, which I had read that they love bad soil. So that must be true. Here, some marigolds that are tall from a friend of mine from last year that I harvested. I'm really just trying to outline my raised beds to have a lot of flowers to attract pollinators. Now over here you can see that I have a huge honeysuckle tree, I call it a tree, that a friend planted many years ago, and man, it just brings in so many bees. Of course, it's not the same timing as the garden. Here I have some corn and beans that have just really taken off and done great. I've actually had to stake some of these because the corn was not tall enough for them to wrap around. But I had read that you could plant your corn and beans together, and the beans would actually use the corn stalks to grow on. So we'll see. Not sure about that either. Never grew that. Now I have just a few more radishes. I'm not sure if they're actually going to be harvestable. I'm not really getting anything more out of them. I did put some more dirt in here because, as you can see, I planted before I filled up my bed, which my spinach is doing great. and I've gotten several harvests off of that, and I've had 3 or 4 harvests of radishes. So I just planted this tomato here today, which is a Mr. Stripey. I was looking for Carolina Golds because my seedlings did not do great. And I will mention that everything that I have planted, except for the Mr. Stripeys and I think a pepper plant, I have started from seed, except for my herbs. Some of my herbs I did transplant from a planter, but most everything that I have grown has come from seed this year, and it's the first time I've ever planted like any seeds that have been successful. Now over here I have some rosemary that still has not come up. I just planted a zinnia right over there, and then I have carrots or celery that I transplanted from seedlings last weekend. And then over here I have some onions, and I have my lettuce coming up. My first batch of lettuce was eaten by the slugs, and so I had to repeat my planting, but also have some beets that are looking pretty good. I've never grown those, so I don't know if this is really normal for them to look like that. So if you have any idea, I would appreciate any advice on that. I did separate them and transplanted what I had left, and they look okay. I just didn't know if they were supposed to like lay on the ground like that. So if you know, let me know. Also have some carrots back there that are actually popping up, and I have a random carrot here within the radishes and spinach. My dill is actually coming up pretty nice, and I read where that's supposed to be really good around tomatoes. Now these 3 beds here, this, and this, is all I planted last year, and mostly with tomatoes, lettuce. I tried radishes and they did not go at all, and some peppers. I think that was all I planted there last year. And then this box is a new box that Wayne Warner built for me this year, and I have had to put some fencing up because Mrs. Darcy and her crew thought I built them an elaborate litter box before I planted everything, and so had to show them it was off limits. But in this box I have some marigolds, and then I have a couple of cucumbers that I just put some ties up, some more nasturtiums, and then I have that's a cherry tomato. I just let's see, no, this is, I think, a question mark. I can't remember what that one was, but I've got beans going here, and so that's why I put the strings up, because my trellis was too short. And then I have another cherry here, and then these are more beans. And some basil down there, and some mint, which is supposed to be really good companion plants. And then on this side, planted another Mr. Stripey, and then this is another cherry tomato plant, but then this is a beefsteak, and so they're looking really nice. More marigolds, and then here's a zinnia here. And so that's what's on this side. Now on this side over here, I have planted another cucumber plant here, and this is a bush cucumber. The other ones that I had planted are vining cucumbers, and I am hoping, like I have this trellis set up, and I'm hoping that I haven't shot myself in the foot, because I'm not sure if I'll be able to reach everything to like harvest the beans, harvest the tomatoes, that type of thing. So we'll see. I am going to be pruning my tomatoes this year to where it's just a 1 or 2 stalk tomato to help with airflow and management, really. Now on this side over here I have more marigolds, and then I have over here, this is a Better Boy. That was one tomato that I had bought when I was in South Carolina. And then this I think is a beefsteak bean, and then this is Carolina Gold. But they just did not do very well, so I wasn't sure if they were going to make it or not. I planted several, but only 3 even, seeded. And then here's some more nasturtium, but I also have some chamomile here. So I'm hoping it will pop up. I did that from seed as well and just transplanted that today. My peppers are looking pretty good. I have some wax bananas, some regular bananas, green bells, orange bells, and yellow bells, I think. And another bean plant there. And then more marigolds and zinnias, nasturtiums, and then here is another Mr. Stripey that I had bought today and planted. And then these are, I want to say, Black Beauty zucchinis, and so I have 2 of those. And then here is another tomato, and I think that's a beefsteak right there in the red. Mint, and then I planted some more basil today. And then this is, I think, a cherry tomato that James gave me, that he started from seedling. And then over here are another cherry, which I don't know that I will be able to eat all those cherry tomatoes, but another beefsteak, and then another Mr. Stripey over there. Now these are my Carolina Golds, and do you see like how small they are? I just don't know that they are going to make it. So then over here another nasturtium, planted some lavender here, a little bit of lavender that I actually seeded myself, and then I had purchased one. I had got one from Home Depot in South Carolina, lavender. Now this is just an experiment. It is a dog food bag, not a dog bag, a dog food bag, and I did plant a potato there, so fingers crossed that that's going to work. And then lastly, I planted some bachelor buttons in this window box so that I could attract some more pollinators. And then here I have, here's one cantaloupe, another cantaloupe, and then my watermelon is right here. Don't know how they're going to do, but I do hope to actually trellis them to where they grow upward. I did plant some last year, and by the time I got them out, they were out too late. And so by the time they started getting melons on them, the frost came and they were gone. So I didn't have very much luck with that. So if you have any suggestions on trellising, if you have any advice or suggestions on trellising cantaloupe or melons, please just leave it in the comments below. I appreciate any advice. I surprised myself last year on what all we were able to harvest from this garden, and I just have high hopes this year that these will turn out okay. I mean, we got a couple of okra, and let me show you this. So like our okra here, I've got an okra and then a tomato. I don't know, I may have planted those too close. But then I have another banana pepper here, and then I have okra here. And these okras, I had okra before and slugs ate that, so I planted another set, and now I've got 2 coming up. So I'm thinking that I just need to snip one off after they get so tall. So if you have any suggestions about that, I appreciate that as well. And I hope that you are able to find you a little spot if you have never gardened. It's one of the most enjoyable things I've ever done, and really thankful to God for the bounty that we got last year and already this year. So super excited about what we find in the garden, and I always love to come out first thing in the morning to see what is growing. So hope you have a good day. Thanks for coming and checking out my garden, and hope your day is awesome. Till next time.